Greeny, when the news broke, you were the first person I thought of because all offseason you've been selling different free agent quarterbacks. What about this guy for the Patriots? What about this guy? You liked Cam coming to the Patriots, and they finally listened to you. And, when I look at it, Greeny, what led them to this? This was a situation where they had some limited finances to work with. And Bill Belichick is on record in May saying we have 4 quarterbacks that, we like, but you never know what happens down the road. And so the finance is a factor, and really it's what Cam's willing to do as a factor. The fact he's willing to play on this type of contract is a huge part of making this happen.
Who's their starting quarterback week 1?
Well, I think you have to put Cam at the top of the list based on his body of work. That being said, Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer have more experience in this system, so you balance those 2 factors. But based on the body of work, I think you have to put Cam right now at the top of the list.
Well, system is a fascinating choice of words here because there's the system that we've seen New England run for 20 years with Tom Brady and have more success than any team has ever had with any player. Cam Newton couldn't be more different from Tom Brady in the way he plays the game. So what do we expect that offense to look like with Cam?
Yeah, you don't call many quarterback-designed runs with Tom Brady under center unless it's those quarterback sneaks that he was so adept at running. So assuming good health and good system and culture fit for Cam Newton, it puts that running quarterback dynamic in play for the Patriots. And really, you can't talk about this, Greeny, without mentioning Josh McDaniels and sort of the breadth of this offense. It's 20 years that they've been running this offense, and they can really morph and tailor their attack to the strengths of their personnel. Go back to Jacoby Brissett, 2016. He had a 27-yard rushing touchdown. That puts that whole aspect into play for the Patriots now.
Yeah, there was a chameleon-like element to what New England has been doing under Belichick forever, and it will be fascinating to watch. Mike Reese, outstanding, and obviously we'll be coming to you regularly here. This becomes one of the great stories in the sport. The NFL world, meanwhile, was reacting, as you would think, last night on Twitter. Odell tweeting, Cam Newton, you've been working, you deserve that. Jamal Adams tweeting, I salute Coach Bill Belichick for that. I'm not going to lie to you, that doesn't sit so well with me. And the McCourty twins simply posting 2 sets of eyes. Now, Vegas agrees. This is from Caesars. They moved New England's odds from 25-1 to 20-1 to win it all, from 10-1 to 9-1 to win the conference. Even with this adjustment, these are the longest odds New England has had to win the title entering a season since 2002. So it's been a while, but they're still a lot better than they were. So now let's get back to some conversation here. I'm bringing into crew. Dominique is with me, and Mike Tannenbaum jumps in here. Mr. T, let's get your thoughts on this. We were talking this morning in our meeting about how you envision this thing looking with Cam Newton, and it should be fascinating to watch what Belichick does there in New England.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer for both sides. And we could go back to 2018 with Cam Newton and Norv Turner in Carolina. In their first 8 games in that offense, Cam Newton had 19 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. And Greeny, I've said it before, the New England Patriot running back room is the best room of any position group in the NFL. So you bring in what Cam Newton can do with his arms and his legs, and the James White and the Sony Michels, all those backs can catch. This becomes a much more problematic offense to defend, and I think it makes them the immediate favorite in the AFC East.
Now, you also made a point this morning that I thought was important, that Belichick tends to like going out and getting players that he had trouble playing against.
Yeah, and you look at what Cam Newton's done against Bill Belichick. He's 2-0, 631 yards, 7 touchdowns. And if you go over the years, Wes Welker had a huge game for the Miami Dolphins. What does Coach Belichick do? He immediately signs him. And these sort of offenses have given Coach Belichick a lot of trouble. So again, this is going to be a different offense, a more diverse offense. And for the weapons outside, guys like Mohamed Sanu and N'Keal Harry, when they get singled up, because now defenses have to account for Cam Newton in the running game, it's going to make those receivers a lot better. And now this offense looks dramatically different than it did 24 hours ago.
Nick, it's interesting to me. Belichick at his heart, for all of the greatness of Tom Brady, and his soul, he's still a defense guy. He was a defensive coach forever. And I've picked this up talking to Rex as much as I have. Those guys defensive coaches hate coaching against quarterbacks that can beat you with their legs. At the end of the day, that's what keeps these guys up at night.
Yeah, because it limits what you're able to do, and there is no perfect scheme to stop it. If you go into zone and an athletic quarterback scrambles, zone turns into man, and then you end up with a linebacker stuck on a receiver. If you try to play man and everyone turns their back to him, the guy can run and break off 20, 30-yard runs. And if you try to spy him, then you're taking a guy out of your rush. You're hesitant to blitz that guy because he breaks a tackle. It's a big play. It is a headache for defenses to go up against this type of guy. So I know that Bill Belichick, as much as they've appreciated Tom Brady, I have to imagine they're excited about the opportunity to do something different and attack defenses the way that the Ravens kind of attacked them last year. And the Ravens took over with a great defense and an impressive running attack that's built on the ability of the quarterback to run.
Yeah, so, Dominique, we are going to sit here and being prisoners of this moment and say, oh, the Patriots are going to be this, they're going to be that. When we get to calm down a little bit, they're the team to beat in the AFC East. What else are they? In a conference that has Baltimore, Kansas City, and others in it, what else are the Patriots right now?
They are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. They aren't better than the Baltimore or Kansas City right now, but as we know, the playoffs is a one-game sample. Tennessee wasn't better than Baltimore either, but they could get into playoffs and win. I think they are good enough with the experience that they have that coaching staff, and overall, this decision was great for them because it was low risk, just about no risk, and all reward. They're paying Cam Newton about the same amount of money that they're paying for a fine as far as base salary is concerned for their fine for their Spygate Part 2. So this was an ingenious move. I don't think there's anything for them to lose right now.
No question. And then, Mike T, there's the Josh McDaniels factor in this as well that you brought up this morning, and a comparison as to what we might expect this offense to look like.
Yeah, so if we go back to 2010, Josh McDaniels is the head coach of the Denver Broncos. They draft Tim Tebow in the first round, and that offense certainly sputtered, but there were flashes when Tim Tebow played well, made a couple of big passes against the Steelers in a playoff game. But again, it's that whole run-pass option that Dominique just was alluding to that's so hard to defend. So now I think we're going to see a lot of elements of Josh McDaniels, the current offensive coordinator of the Patriots, bring a lot of those concepts forward. And now those three defensive coordinators in the AFC East, they have to scrap what they did this offseason